ever watched a movie or maybe looked at a friend or a coworker and or maybe on Facebook even, right? Social media is a great tool that often makes us jealous, right? You look at all these fabulous pictures and videos and depictions of what a wonderful, fulfilling, and happy, abundant, and successful life should look like. And you look at your life right now and you're like, okay, how do I get there? And how do I close the gap between where I am and where I want to be? Hi, I'm Jacqueline, and we at Joyful Living Mindset are so excited that you're here because we believe that you have a great gift within you that's going to uplift humanity in some great way. And we're here to help you navigate that journey and live your truth. I remember many years ago when I was still in the corporate world and I wasn't happy where I was. I had an idea of where I wanted to go, but I just kept looking at where I am and where I wanted to go. And I wanted more abundance. I wanted a more fulfilling relationship with my husband. I wanted more time freedom to spend with my son. But I just kept looking at where I was, and it was anything but that. And I couldn't figure out how to close that gap. And a lot of times when we look at where we are to where we want to be and the gap is so big, we often either get really we freeze and get overwhelmed, or we tend to think that we need to work harder or do something extra, have a side hustle or whatnot to make more money in order for us to have the freedom to live the life that we want to be living. But have you noticed that even though you work harder, you have a side hustle or two or three, but at the end of the day, you don't feel that it's moving you in the direction that you want, and instead it's actually draining you more than anything? Well, this is happening because many people don't understand this very, very important concept. Is that creation, whatever it is that you want to create or experience in your life, has to happen first within you, in your mind, in your heart, before it can happen and translate into your physical reality. Because what your mind conceives and your heart believes, you will inevitably achieve. And that is why visualization is such a powerful tool to help you effectively close the gap between where you are to where you want to be without overwhelm or draining you of your time, energy, or money. Because all that it needs you to do is really 3 steps. The first is for you to ask yourself this simple yet powerful question. If money and resources were not an issue, what would you want to do with your life? I'll say that again, or I'll ask that again. If money and resources were not an issue, what would you want to do with your life? And then secondly, allow yourself to dream limitlessly to answer that question. This is when you throw logic out the window, set it aside, and you tap back into that childlike wonder and magic of anything can happen and you can have everything, right? Anything is possible. So allow your soul, your higher wisdom from within, or whatever it is that you want to call it, allow yourself to dream limitlessly, and that higher power and wisdom within you to remind you and guide you that anything is possible. What's all that's available to you, and anything is possible. You can be, do, or have anything. So just go with that assumption and allow yourself to just let go, relax, and immerse yourself in that realm of possibilities, pure possibilities, with no logic attached. Okay? And get specific, get really specific. If it is money or more abundance that you want, if it is a soul partner that you want to attract, if it's a more fulfilling relationship that you want with your partner, get really specific of what would your life look, feel, and be like if that has already been achieved, if that is achieved, right? So for instance, if you're imagining or wanting to create more abundance in your life, whatever that figure is and whatever that level is for you that you define is abundant for you, then what would it be if you achieve that? How would your life change? What experiences would you have? Who would be there with you? What sounds or conversations would take place? What would you wear? What would you, every single day when you wake up and you go to work, like what would you wear? What would you be doing? The kind of work that you're doing? Who would you be hanging around with? How would you be getting to work? Like, get down to those specific details. Colors, sounds, sights, smell, taste, conversation, anything, the people, the environment, all of that. And let that just one by one detail after another, literally just live inside of you and light up, ignite your soul. Okay? And then the third is then to allow that feeling that you're generating in your vision when you're sitting down and visualizing this. Allow the feelings that you are feeling from these compelling vision that you are creating in your mind and believing in your heart. Allow that to be enough for you to be happy in the present moment. Basically, it's borrowing the happiness, the love, the abundance, the joy, the fulfillment, whatever that is, success, borrowing all of that from the future, the feelings of that from the future, and living that in the present moment and allowing that to be enough. Like, that is really the key to this, right? It's allowing it to be enough, because regardless of what your physical environment may paint, right? But allow that vision, allow the feelings that you are generating and feeling in your visualizations be enough. Because when you can distract yourself from your physical environment and allow your vision, the feelings that you generate, that as if you are already living that vision that you are painting in your mind and in your heart, what happens is that you are sending out these energetic instructions to the universe through those powerful and compelling images, so that your brain then starts to zero in on circumstances, events, people, opportunities, details, or whatnot that matches those feelings. And it brings it into your reality. It just rearranges things in the physical reality that's going to match what you just created and feel. Like, that's when the magic starts happening, right? So every time when you look at, let's say you go to work and you dread the work, or your boss or your colleague is just driving you crazy, and you come home and you're just so frustrated and so drained, right? Instead of staying in that moment and complaining about your boss, complaining about your colleague, or even complaining about your husband or spouse or partner, right? Just excuse yourself and find a quiet place and seek refuge in your vision. Seek refuge in your ability to create whatever it is that you want to be experiencing and feeling and having and being, so that the universe, a higher power out there, is going to take those instructions, those energetic instructions, and go to work on your behalf. Like, that is so powerful. And the reason why I say that is because when I was at rock bottom, getting laid off from my job, having over $300,000 of debt, and my husband and I were literally a signature away from divorce, I used this methodology. I started visualizing, and I incorporate that. I think at that time it's probably not just on a daily basis, but throughout the day. Anytime I felt stressed or sad or hopeless, I escaped into my visions, because that was the world, the realm of possibilities that I wanted to spend most of my time in. And then coming out of that, I remember every single time I came out of the vision, I was renewed with hope and fulfillment and joy and love and happiness and abundance, and also gratitude as well. Gratitude that I was able to experience that. I was able to create those feelings on demand and see these beautiful visions of what is possible for my life on demand. And then slowly but surely, my life started to change. And I'll share with you, back then, like I said, I was without a job, I had over $300,000 in debt, and my husband and I were on the verge of divorce, like literally a signature away from divorce. But my vision was I allowed myself to visualize something that was so much greater than who I am and where I was, that to fulfill that vision, it would have needed millions upon millions or hundreds of millions of dollars for me to fulfill that vision. But I didn't care. This was my time to allow myself to dream limitlessly. That was my escape, to remind myself of all that is possible and all that is available to me. And little by little, will you believe that one thing after another led me to, I met this one person who introduced me to brought me to an ICF coaching luncheon, where I began to, and they were seeking volunteers for their board. And at that time, since I didn't have a job and I had all the time in the world, and I believed in what the organization was doing, so I volunteered for that organization to organize events and attract new members and all of that. And because of that, I helped them organize a networking event. And through that networking event, met one of the members from there. And then 2 weeks later, she reached out to me and through email and said that they are looking for someone with my skill sets and background to set up an HR service center in Tampa, and would I be interested in that job. And this was me after me trying, chained to my laptop for 6 months straight, applying to endless jobs, hundreds of jobs, even jobs I was grossly overqualified for, and heard crickets. Not even a rejection letter. And now all of a sudden, I wasn't looking, I wasn't doing anything. I was just doing what brought me joy, which is my visualizations, and then acting on some impulses and taking some inspired action to meet some people, be somewhere, do something, and then all of a sudden the opportunity just came literally knocking on my door. And really that was the start of how I was able to climb my way out of my rock bottom and able to live my highest vision of purpose, abundance, and happiness today. And so I wanted to share you this powerful tool that I discovered at the depths of my despair and absolute rock bottom moment in my life that literally changed my life. And it was like it bended my reality. there's really no way to put it. It bended my reality. It bridged the gap between where I was and where I wanted to be. And it just continues to elevate my life more and more and more as I commit more to visualization and commit more to that creation process inside of me, so that my external environment can then catch up afterwards. So I hope this was helpful for you. I'd love to hear in the comments if you've ever tried visualizations and how that's worked for you, or if you have challenges with visualizations, if there's some things that I can help you, the nuances that might help you to have a better visualization experience. I'd be happy to support you in that. So definitely leave in the comments any questions that you have, and I look forward to reading them and supporting you more on your journey. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.